your feature debut, 1991's Poison, which won the Grand Jury Prize at Sundance. And this is a film that then became grouped, and you as a director became grouped with people like Tom Kaling, Rose Troche, Greg Araki, Gus Van Sant, Jenny Livingston, with this very diverse movement that became New Queer Cinema.
That had everything to do with the AIDS crisis. It was sort of an attempt to defend an embattled minority community that was starting to accept some of the terms of blame and culpability for that epidemic.
Nunca os dije a quién votar ni a quién seguir cuando vendía mis discos.
I'm Not There in 2007. By any standards, this is an extraordinary film.
I wanted to make a movie about Bob Dylan, and I thought there's no way to do fake versions of Dylan songs. Without getting the rights, there's just simply no way. And of all the people, the scariest of them all, I went to him through his manager, and Jeff said, just write it out, and don't mention like voice of a generation, and don't say genius, and so I wrote as much, as sort of lugubrious and sort of sophomoric or sort of, uncommercial, which it is, a description of the concept. Suppositions on a film concerning Dylan. And sent it to Bob with my movies. And, a month later, we get a call from Jeff Rosen saying, yeah, you got the life rights and all the music. And basically, it was this gift.
¿Ya no canta canciones protesta?
¿Quién lo ha dicho?
No lo digo yo. He leído en alguna parte que usted ya no las canta.
Pero sí, no hago otra cosa que protestar.
And was Cate Blanchett the first of your characters to come on board?
I think it might have been Richard Gere, played that weird, cowboy recluse version of Dylan, the Billy the Kid character. And Richard Gere was so lovely and so generous, and he agreed to do it for so little money that it made all the other actors have to follow suit.
Carol, let's sort of move into that. It's fascinating to see the binary performance that Cate Blanchett gives.
For me, this was really addressing the shape and form and tradition of the love story in movies in ways I felt I never had really exclusively looked at in other films that I've made. And really, and what that led to is a real focus on point of view and how much point of view sort of anchors you in great love stories, most usually to the more vulnerable party.
Can you please join me in thanking Todd Haynes?